Hey writers, welcome back to Writers Workshop. So today, I want to share with you a problem that I experienced with my writing. As you know, I've been writing a book all about yoga. So yesterday after school, I was working so hard on my story and making sure that I had something interesting on every page because we know we want our readers to be excited about reading our book, and we can do that by putting something interesting on every single page. So on one page, I was writing about stretches, and I remembered that there's this one stretch that is very, very challenging. You see, in this stretch, what you do is you lay on your stomach and you take your legs and you stretch them out until it goes higher than your head, and it's really, really hard. So I wanted to write about that in my book because I thought that would be a really interesting fact, and it was so exciting. So let me show you what I wrote. Here's what I wrote. In yoga, you do lots of stretches. The hardest stretch in the world is called the thingy. To do the thingy, you have to put your foot over your head. I was so proud of what I wrote at the time, and so I read it to my friend Hannah. And do you guys want to know what she said to me? She told me that my book sounded like I didn't know what I was talking about and I didn't sound like an expert. And she told me, there's no move in yoga called the thingy. As hard as that was to hear, she was right, and she was being a good friend by helping me make my writing better. And that's when I realized I have to make my book really interesting for my readers, and I have to use precise or specific words to describe what I am talking about. And when I write in a teaching voice, I have to use those fancy words that an expert would use because this shows the reader that I actually know what I'm talking about. The problem is, though, that sometimes fancy words can be really hard to spell. That really hard stretch in yoga that I just kept calling the thingy, well, it's actually called the crocodile stretch. But when I said the word crocodile, that is such a big word and it freaked me out. I don't know how to spell that word. And so I panicked and just thought, well, I know how to spell thingy, so I'm just going to write thingy because crocodile's too hard, and it made me worried. I was just nervous that I wouldn't be able to spell it correctly, and so I just left it out and covered it up with the word thingy. Hannah helped me realize that nonfiction writers, they don't chicken out from using big words. To make my book truly sound like a teaching book, I'll have to use my strategies that I know for spelling tricky words. Because if I am brave, I can even write the word crocodile. And all we're asking to do is try our best, right? That's way better than me just calling it the thingy. That's so silly. If I was writing about the Dallas Cowboys and I wanted to write about how they got a touchdown, should I freak out if I don't know how to spell the word touchdown and just say, oh, they got it. Woo, go Cowboys, they got it. You're like, got what? They got the football? What happened? No, they got the touchdown. You have to be willing to be brave and try your best to spell new words. And friends, it's okay. All of us make mistakes. I bet right now, if you were to ask a grown-up at your house or maybe in the classroom, and you said, hey, do you still sometimes have to spell a tricky word that maybe you're not 100% confident you know how to spell? And you want to know what? I bet they're going to tell you yes. Every day, even as adults, we have to be brave and try to spell new, tricky words so we can be very clear about what we're talking about. And friends, writers sound out fancy words by listening to each syllable, sliding their fingers across the page, and writing the sounds they hear. Do you remember our say it, slide it, hear it, write it? So that's one way that you can do that, and by breaking the words into syllables. So writers, today I'm going to be brave and I'm going to make my all about yoga teaching book sound just like an expert book by using the precise word, crocodile. I'm not going to call it the thingy, I'm going to say crocodile. And I'm going to try my best to sound out each syllable of the word as I write it. And I want you to watch me as I work hard to spell the word crocodile. I'm going to listen for the sounds in each syllable of the word, slide my finger across the page, and write the sounds that I hear. All right, so first I'm going to clap out crocodile so I can break it into syllables. Let's clap out crocodile. Ready? Croc-o-dile. All right, so I've got those 3 syllables, and that first one was croc. All right, croc. So let's say it, slide it. Croc. Croc. I know, C-R. Ah is the O, K, C. Croc. I've got that first syllable. Okay, so it was croc, O. All right, now I'm on O. Well, that's easy. It's saying its name. What letter is it, friends? That's right, O. So now I've got croc, O, dial. Okay, now I'm focusing on that last syllable. Dial, dial. And I hear the I is saying its name. I think that E is at the end, making the I say its name. Crocodile. Whew! Oh my goodness, friends. I did it. And did you see what I did to spell this fancy word? I first broke the word into syllables because it was such a big word. It was very daunting, very scary for me to think about writing that big word. But you know what? I found that when I broke it into chunks, into syllables, and I just focused on one syllable at a time and used my say it, slide it, hear it, write it strategy, it wasn't as bad. And I was able to focus on the sounds that I heard. And friends, that's something that you can do too. You friends have learned so many strategies to spell tricky words. And I've told you time and time again, the English language can be crazy. I told you, even as adults, there are still some words that we don't know how to spell, and we try our best and use our strategies, and we choose to be brave and try our best to spell the word. So let's review some of the strategies that we learned back in our Small Moments unit. Well, we just practiced today some of the say it, slide it, hear it, write it. We also learned how to use snap words, and those are words that we know in a snap. They might be words that we've memorized and know by heart, or maybe they're words that are on our word wall in our classroom. We also can listen for little words hiding in the inside. For example, in the word winter, I hear the word in, and I know how to spell that. So that little chunk will help me spell the whole word. And I can use other words that I know. For example, if I looked at the word smart, I know the word art is hiding in there, and I know how to spell the word art because it's on our class schedule, and so I've memorized it because I've seen it every day, A-R-T, and I can use that to help me spell. I also can write it part by part and listen for syllables like we did today. We broke it into syllables, and then we used our say it, slide it, hear it, write it to be brave and try to spell a new big word. So friends, as some of you go off and write, some of you may be starting a new book, some of you may be finishing a book that you worked on yesterday. And I want you to remember today and every day that nonfiction writers, they use precise words, very specific words to teach about their topic. They bravely try to spell words even if they aren't sure. They are going to try their best, okay? And before we go off, I want to remind you of our little information writing checklist, the one that we learned about in kindergarten. So let me review this with you. I told, drew, and wrote about a topic. I told what my topic was. I put different things I knew about the topic on my pages. I had a last part or page. I told, drew, and wrote information across pages. I drew and wrote important things about the topic. I told, drew, and wrote some details about the topic. So those, friends, are things that we want to make sure that we're using in our story. And now I'm going to read the other part of the writing checklist to you because it has a lot to do with being able to read our writing. So it says, I could read my writing. I wrote a letter for the sounds I heard. I used the word wall to help me spell. I put spaces between words. I used lowercase letters unless capitals were needed. I wrote capital letters to start every sentence. So friends, those are just some reminders of things that we're trying to make sure we check off throughout our writing and that we do. So friends, I hope today when you go off to do your writing that you're going to choose to be brave and you're going to use those strategies to help you bravely spell new words. All right, friends, it's your turn. Writers go write.